I pray that you all are ministered to as God has ministered to me as he prepared me for this. You all may be seated. As everybody know, I've been sick for quite a while. Actually, I've been sick since I've been coming to this church, which has been over 16 years now, almost 17. And this church has prayed me through, has been in agreement, stood in the gap for me, fasted for me, and done quite a few things for me that I could never, ever truly thank everyone for. God has been very good to me. He has spared my life so many times. If I just told that, I would use up all my time. But I want to share with you all just something from my heart that the Lord has given me. I started off with one thing, and the Lord said no. Started off with something else. Oh, I can do that. No. And then when he told me what he wanted to talk about, I'm like, oh, hey, you're going to have to help me with this, Lord. And he did, and I'm thankful for that. Boy, did he help me. He helped me in my sleep for 3 nights in a row. And it's something about when God talks to you in your sleep. You can't run, you can't get away, you can't use your cell phone, you can't use the computer. You just have to listen and hear what God has to say. The first scripture I want to bring to you is from Mark 5:27. But before we go there, we all know the story about the woman with the issue of blood, how she had been so sick for so long, what was causing this situation with her, and how she had used up all her money for so many years to the point where she was broke. This woman became very desperate, kind of like I had been for several years. Mark 5:27 says, when she heard of Jesus, and she came in the press behind and touched his garment, for she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be made whole. I shall be whole. This woman was so desperate, she knew that she was considered a outcast, unclean, and for her to venture into a crowd where she knew that her lifeline was at. We know that life is in the blood. Her lifeline, the blood, was in the crowd. Among men that were not her kinsman, was not her husband, but she pressed forward anyway, risking her life and her lamb. She didn't care. She was that desperate. She knew that her solution to her issue was in that crowd. And so she reached out and touched his hem. She reached out and touched his hem and touched her lifeline, the line that she needed to be healed and delivered. All of us have something that we have been delivered from, that God has brought us out of. Mine has been mostly been pretty much health issues for the majority of my life. You have to get my book to understand the whole big story. But anyway, this woman had an issue for a long, long time. We all have issues. We have problems, things that addictions, health issues, mental issues, emotional issues. And we all need, at one time or another in our life, a lifeline. Someone that has gone through what we've gone through and is willing to reach out and grab and touch that person. Give them life. Show them that the line starts from here and it comes through and you're reaching them, pulling them out of their desperation. We have got to do this. Saints, we don't have much time. We don't have a lot of time, and we need to reach as many people as we can in this day and age. There are people that's even here in the body that needs a lifeline. They may not talk about it, they may not show it, but they need someone that is willing to reach them, to grab a hold of them and touch them, whether it's praying for them physically, praying for them emotionally, praying for whatever their situation is. But each and every one of us, our issues, we know how to reach that person. I can talk to someone about health and how to survive and what you need to do to survive when you're going through the physical stuff and you're near death and you're facing death. I can't talk to somebody about addiction or alcoholism or homosexuality or being a thief, a liar. I can't talk to people about those things, but there's many of us here that God has delivered us from different things, and we can touch, if we can touch the body first, then the body is prepared and we can get out into our communities. We can go on our jobs. We can stand out in the schools, college, high school, elementary school even. We can reach people with our story. There are so many people that is hurting, that desires what we have, that at least what we profess to have. And if we have it, why will we keep it to ourselves? Don't we want everyone to make it? God surely does. And if we're trying to be like Christ, then we should have the mind of Christ and not want to see anybody perish. We have got to get serious. We got to be bold. This ain't about our abilities. It's not about my abilities. It's about God's ability. God said that he will be with us wherever we go. It's like, when you get on an airplane, they tell you about putting your seatbelts on, not using, electronics when they're taking off and landing. And then they tell you about that mask that may happen to drive. And God forbid, I can't stand flying. I'll do it, but it's not one of my favorite things. I'd rather drive or be on a bus for 50 hours than to fly for 3. Really, seriously. But anyway, they tell us, and I used to think, oh, that's kind of crazy. They tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you help the child or someone that needs assistance. I mean, think about it. If the plane should happen to get into some kind of turbulence and the mask come down for the pilot and the co-pilot passes out. He's so scared, he passes out. I would not want my pilot to stop flying that plane to go ahead and help that person first. He needs to put his mask on first so he can help his co-pilot. That's what we got to do. We got to help each other by giving a lifeline before we get out there into the community. People are looking for what is real, not what is fake. They want what is real, and the world knows what's real. They know. They recognize when it's not real. We have got to get serious. Now, doing your lifeline, working it, doing what it is that God tells you to do, using that ability that you've acquired from being delivered yourself, it's going to hurt. It ain't going to be kind. It ain't going to be friendly. You may not even get a thank you. That's okay, though. When Jesus went to the cross, God, the whip that they used on Jesus, it wasn't a normal whip. This whip had rocks, glass, and bone in it. And every time his back was striped and plugs of tissue was being plucked out of his body, he felt every bit of that. Jesus was all God and he was all man, all in one. He felt that pain, but he did it for us because he knew that he was the lifeline for us. If it wasn't for him suffering like that, we wouldn't have a hope. We wouldn't have anything to look forward to. And we got to take it that serious. If it hurts, God help me. Put the salve on it. Lord, help me. Cool down the pain, because I got a soul that I got to throw a lifeline to. We have got to be serious about this. I mean, really serious. God has been dealing with me about, after my doctors had talked to me, and one of the things that the doctor has admired, the doctor that did my transplant, he said, Miss Cook, there's someone that really loves you up there. And I said, let me tell you something, Dr. Matsumoto. His name is Jesus. He's just not this being in the sky. His name is Jesus. And guess what, Dr. Matsumoto? He loves you too. He loves you too. Dr. Matsumoto didn't know what to say to that. His eyes teared up. It's people that is testing us, that'll test you to see, are you serious? Are you sincere? And you got to be able to know. You need to know that word like you know the back of your hand. You got to get that word in you. Because if you don't know your word, you're going to be wasting your time, and you're going to make a mockery of yourself, and you're going to make a mockery of the church, and you're going to make a mockery of God. We have got to be serious, saints. If I have never felt this so strong in my entire life, my entire walk with God, I feel it so strongly. We have got to be the lifeline for this world. No more playing, no more joking. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off the internet. Get off of Facebook if you have to. But you got to get serious. Spend more time with God than you do on Facebook, and you probably find out you really don't need Facebook after all. I ask you all, who will join me in this community to reach our community by throwing out a lifeline? Thank you.